Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to how the US ruined bread. Interesting topic. It's by Johnny Harris. I enjoy his videos. Some people don't, but I mean, it is what it is. Some people will probably get offended by this. I don't know, but I mean, I just find them quite fun to react to or interesting to react to. This is an interesting topic though, because when he speaks about this, I don't know if he means how the US ruined bread for the US or how the US ruined bread for the majority of the world. Like sort of manufactured bread and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that was started in the US or what, or if he's just focusing this on the US. But I can sort of compare this to loaves of bread. They're cheaper, they're easier to make and like make your food and stuff. Yeah, you'll get them all the time. But when you sometimes occasionally get, or when I sometimes get that good bakery, like real made bread or whatever, homemade bread, it hits different, man. It makes you realise, god damn, what is this stuff that I'm eating? But I don't know if he's going to go into that stuff or if this is going to get like political. I don't really know. This might just go off on some tangent, but I'm all here for it. And yeah, we're just going to jump into the reaction, but hopefully going to enjoy. Links are in the description to my Patreon. I've done like quite a few Patreon reactions recently. My channel's getting demonetized at the moment. There's a lot of reactions that I do that get demonetized and then I have to appeal it. But by the time I've appealed it, the video's been out for 3 days and it doesn't really do anything. So yeah, some of my more, I don't know, certain reactions that may be deemed as demonetizable, however you say it, maybe started to be posted there, but depending on if YouTube change how they're being on my channel, maybe not. But yeah, there's lots of reactions there for those of you who are interested in other sort of topics. But yeah, let's jump into this and see what he talks about in this video. It's a weird video to make.
I love bread.
There is so much good bread.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not really a fan of baguettes. Probably quite controversial. I don't really like baguettes. I mean, I'll probably have it. I mean, I can't really go wrong, but it's just like it's too crunchy and hard for me.
In France.
And although man doth not live by bread alone, without it the meal seems incomplete.
On every corner, there is a bakery that is pumping out delicious, fresh, well-made bread.
It's so fresh.
This is not easily available to
sourdough.
me, and I want to know why. Why is it that the bread that I can get easily looks very, very different? Why is it that the US sucks at making bread? In fact, let me just show you what that looks like.
Okay, wait, it's 12 hours earlier, still back in the US. I'm actually at a grocery store right now.
But to be fair, if you go to a grocery store in France, I'm sure there are like are bakeries big in the US? I don't know, but I assume they are. If you go to a grocery store in France, it's going to be the same sort of situation. You're not going to get this deliciously made bread. That's just how stores are, right? Unless he goes to a bakery too, and then
This is how a lot of us Americans get our bread.
Same as me though. It's easy, but at the same time, when you do have that good bread, it's like, god damn, I'm missing out.
Sigh. My favorite part is when they make this plastic look like it's steaming. It's just like foggy plastic to be like, this was just baked right now. And it's like, no, this was actually baked like 3 weeks
smart.
ago in a factory
That's
in
kind of smart.
Connecticut.
It's even made with real butter.
Always buy Wonder Bread.
I do love brioche bread, I
You'll
can't
be
lie.
glad you did.
The reason I'm purchasing this bread is because I want to bring it with me to France, just to like have an example lesson, and I may use it as a pillow because it's literally as soft as a Nova foam pillow. Some of this bagged bread is made with ingredients that are literally illegal in the EU.
Oh my days.
Back to France, let's do it.
There's nothing more American than Wonder Bread.
Is this like the main bread in the US or something?
I'm going to France.
In case you're wondering, yes, any video from Paris must include music like this. Nice, gentle cafe accordion music. There's my composer Tom making it right now.
It's pretty cool.
It's just so good. Okay, so yeah, we know that France is good at bread and the US sucks at it. Is this just another video where I shit on the USA for being terrible at certain things? Yes, it is. It's exactly what it is. But hear me out.
People
I
are gonna
actually
be
have
mad.
something to say here.
For
I
God's
believe
sake.
that bread is a really important symbol for a bigger cultural phenomenon in the US, and that's what I want to talk about today. Where industrialized bread came from, why it exists, and how some people are trying to change it. I'll get to that explanation, but first I'm gonna go into that bakery over there and buy myself a large ball of butter and flour stuffed with chocolate. Oh, and Tom, can you throw in a beat to this accordion music, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Oh yeah. Pause. My job is to make videos for you. And the reason I'm able to do that is because there are brands that support this channel. What their years, it has changed my life.
This time, it is. Oh, it's always BetterHelp, isn't it? Getting his bread you loved. Oh, hey, oh, come on! I didn't even mean to do that, but that's bars right there, man.
It could change yours.
Getting his bread you
Go
love
check
to
out
see.
BetterHelp, and thank you, BetterHelp, for supporting this channel and the journalism that I do. Let's dive back into the video. Okay, so why bread? There's a million other things I could talk about that are better in other parts of the world, but it turns out that bread is the most important prepared food that humans have ever made, and therefore it is worth talking about.
I mean, it
So,
is. It's
let me-
weird because I mean, bread is probably the most consumed type of food in the world. I mean, if you think about it, it definitely is because it's with everything. You can have it for breakfast. You have it for lunch. You can have it for dinner. Like, bread is just a continuous thing, so it does make sense to sort of want to have the best sort of made, but like bread, right? But I don't know what he's going to go into and all this kind of stuff. I'm interested.
Let me explain in under a minute the overview of the tens of thousands of years of history of bread and its chemistry and why it's so important. Don't think I can do it in under a minute? Check this out. 12,000 years ago, humans realized that they could plant this grass instead of just foraging for it. This grass was called wheat, and when it was ground up with a stone, it made this powder that, if you put water with it, creates this stretchy, goopy thing that has a bunch of sugar from the flour that's been released. Oh look, all the bacteria in the air love this sugary goop. Nice. And they descend to feast on it, burping out gas as they eat. Whoa, the gas can't float up into the air because it's getting trapped in this stretchy ball of goop, like a balloon, like a pillow, like magic. Magic. All this feasting and burping is making it rise and turn into a pillowy thing that is way bigger than it was. Put this blob next to some fire, and all of the little bubbles that were just created turn hard. Wait, all of this can happen because of this one grass? Yes. Cool, let's plant a lot more of this grass and build all of human civilization off of it, said humans. So that is bread, like the oldest and most important prepared food item that humans have ever invented. Eventually, humans got really good at doing this bread, flour, water, yeast thing, and especially here in France, they took it really seriously and have created a whole culture around making bread delicious and amazing. And you can see that they've continued that culture today just by the number of bakeries that exist in this city. There are 30,000 independent bakeries in France. Compare that to the 3,000 that are in the United States.
There's only 3,000 bakeries in the US. Wait, how many are in the UK? That sounds kind of nuts, especially for the US. Wait, what? Are they in the UK? Oh, there's actually more. So there's 2,661 in the UK, but obviously it's a lot smaller and the population's lower. Wait, is this in France? I just want to hear what he says about France. Is it in France or just Paris?
There are 30,000 independent bakeries in France.
Okay,
Compare that
France.
to the 3,000 that are in the United States. And then remember that the US has like a much larger population. And if you do all the math, you see that France has 50 times more bakeries per capita than the United States.
Bruh,
50
that's
times.
mental.
I mean, that is such
Puts
a
the UK to
clear
shame as well,
indication
though.
of how much they value good bread that is baked a certain way. Here with Mr. Local over here.
Local French food in France.
Yes.
94% of Parisians live less than 5 minutes away from a bakery. And
That's
that shows you they care. They
Yeah.
care. It's like you hear stuff like that and you're like, this is their priority.
Yeah, yeah.
And the culture of eating is just as much important here as how like the ingredients are sourced and prepared and whatnot.
Yeah.
People don't eat while rushing towards their next meeting or whatever. Like it's
Paris
very
is
much, no, you
beautiful.
sit down, you make it a thing.
Part
It's
of
just
it,
a part of the
anyway.
way of life here.
Yeah.
People come into the boulangeries almost on a daily basis and they check in with each other. It's like, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm doing great. This is what's happening.
Why? That is the question. Why are these bread cultures so different? And the answer comes down to what America was founded on. I mean, a reminder that America is a country founded by a bunch of people who left their country to go make a new life, to do things differently, to do things more individualistically. And the way that expressed itself for a really long time was mechanization, industrialization. And to be clear, in the history, Britain was as much to blame for all of this mechanizing of bread as...
Yeah, I'm about to say, because in the UK, bro, our bread ain't good. I was literally saying it, bro. And at the same time, this video could be about the UK. Like, you'll go to the shops, it's exactly the same. Like, yeah. And we have more bakeries and stuff, but even then, like, the bread that you can get from the shops is what people are going to go to. People aren't going to go to bakeries and stuff because it is usually a lot more pricey, and the average person probably doesn't want to waste the money on bread or not. But I say waste, but spend more money on a certain type of bread where you can get it for cheaper at the shop. So yeah, I was expecting that, because maybe it's just I'm sort of saying how in the shops in France, their bread will be the same. But I don't actually know that. I'm just judging that based off the fact that I live in the UK and that's how it is here as well.
America was.
That's insulting.
But anyway, we're talking about the USA for a little bit. So by the 1920s, you had this machine that was invented. An automatic bread slicer. Hello, convenience, innovation, America. No more serrated knife versus a tough, crusty loaf. Now the machine will do it for you. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, so that's where we're at. This is the greatest thing, says America. And Europe was like, wait, yeah, we like machines too, but like not for bread.
Okay.
Slice this bread and you make your bread spoil faster. We don't need a machine for sliced bread. But the automatic slicer was just the beginning for America.
No, I'm just getting warmed up.
Now that we have sliced bread that, yes, spoils faster, let's make it, I don't know, not spoil as fast. One way to do this is to take the part of the wheat berry that has oils in it, the husk and the bran, and get rid of it. Focus on the big, carb-loaded berry in the middle. But there had to be a more industrial solution to make the bread last longer, to be whiter, to be softer.
Oh,
and it's the
coloration, all this
1950s,
kind of stuff.
and Europe is like, whoa, dude, America, chill out. Like, bread is just bread. We've been doing this for literally tens of thousands of years. Let's just, like, stick to the program. And America's like, no. So America starts adding all of this stuff to their bread, bleaches and dough conditioners, and suddenly they're putting their bread into controlled chambers so that it will be hot enough to rise faster. And they're putting preservatives in so that their bread can now sit on a shelf for not just 1 or 2 days like it should, but 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, a whole week, and it's still soft. It is still white. It is still spongy and delicious. But it now has 15 ingredients instead of 3. And it's cheap and convenient and stable, and America is loving this, and Europe is like, whoa. You took this way too far. This is not bread anymore. And indeed, I would argue that this is not bread anymore. This is a bread-like substance. It's a different product made from a different process, and yet we use the same word for it. If you want to know more about what's inside of this kind of bread, I was actually here making this video when I stumbled upon a video from one of my favorite YouTubers, Adam Ragusea, that's like a deep dive into all of the ingredients in this kind of industrial bread. Definitely go check it out. Some bread in the US has taken it so far that they will put in additives that keep it spongy and soft, or that keep it really white, even though these additives are known to like cause cancer and inflame asthma and do all of these terrible things. Many of these additives that are legal to be put in American bread are literally illegal in Europe and many other countries. Azodicarbonamide is one of them. This is a whitening agent. But you know what? This product, ADA, also helps other things stay softer, like yoga mats. ADA is in yoga mats.
Bro, what? Whoa, what is going on here? Wait, is this because he says in Europe it's banned, but when he keeps referring to Europe, I'm assuming it's not the UK. I mean, maybe these chemicals aren't here, but because he's not referring to the UK as in like the bread, because we are part of the problem as well, or whatever you want to say. But what? it's used to keep these spongy. Whoa, what's going on here?
To make them spongy and soft, and it is banned in the EU and many other countries.
Bro, that is
Our
mental.
obsession with convenience, cheapness, softness, shelf life has led us down a really dangerous path, and
That is
yet we're
actually
totally
insane.
okay with it somehow. This is why I think bread is a useful symbol for broader American culture. It shows us how far we are willing to go to prioritize things like cheapness and convenience over tried and true methods that have been baked into culture.
Of course, industrialized bread exists here as well. It doesn't have some of the
here we go.
carcinogenic ingredients that are
we
not
go.
allowed in the EU, but it still has all of the dough conditioners, bleaches, still artificially risen,
So
all of that.
all breads, shop-made breads, just got bleaches and all this kind of stuff. What the hell? What about brown bread? Because I usually go for the healthier bread. I'll get bread with seeds, and it's brown, and I'm like, okay, it's not white bread, so I'm a bit healthier, but at the end of the day, it's probably worse. There's probably going to be somewhere that they've made it worse, isn't there?
The difference is that it is rare. It is much more rare here. What is much more common is the ability to go to your local bakery and get bread that only has a few ingredients. And it's the ingredients that humans have been using for tens of thousands of years to make this staple food.
The feeling that I generally have is that this is how it should be. And then when I go elsewhere and you have other kinds of bread that last kind of bizarre amounts of time, you know, you're like, this is not really how it should be. You get calibrated to kind of this new standard here, and it kind of ruins you.
Turns out Paris is low-key one of the most bikeable cities I've ever been in, but it used to not be like that. Like last time I was here, it was not this bikeable. I smell some urban design policy changes afoot here.
Someone tried to change this in the US a few years ago. A company called Panera
What could be better than a visit to Panera Bread?
tried to bring like European bread culture to the United States. And they did. They had high quality, delicious bread. But what happens next is potentially the best metaphor for America.
What they made it like so it was easier to make and stuff. If that's the case, they're gonna make the company saw that they were doing well and thought, let's make it even quicker and stuff, and it led to them making it Americanized, or like it was just like full of like all this stuff that wasn't what they were promoting. That's gonna be hilarious.
Hello, I like money.
They got a business loan so they could expand. And then they got investors and they started to expand and scale. And then they were purchased in a massive merger. And now they're planning to go public on the public stock exchanges. Like they just became a massive corporation who does not focus on making quality artisan bread. Instead, they're now just a machine pumping out bread that kind of looks and feels like European bread, but is now done in a uniform, mass-produced, industrialized process, all in the name of scale and profit.
Wow, they have it. Canned bread.
So the
Is that a
question is,
thing?
why does this matter? Like, am I just being a
Wait,
snob who's like, traditional bread is better and therefore everyone should have it and I hate America?
That was snobby. You're a snob.
No, I'm not.
Kind of, yeah. But also, it actually makes a difference in how it goes into your body. The beauty of bread always was that you could put this goop out in the air and bacteria would come down and start to feast on it and kind of start the digestion process. That is what natural fermentation does, is it starts to break down the wheat and make it ready to go into your body. The way that we make bread in America doesn't really leave time for this. We use heat and chemicals to speed this process up, to make it rise faster, to make it rise bigger in an artificial, synthetic way. And so you're actually getting a much inferior product to what original bread making looks like and what it produces. Yes, it lasts longer. Yes, it tastes like chewy, pillowy, sugary heaven, but it's not bread the way that humans have been eating it for tens of thousands of years. Convenience, scale, independence, that is what we love in America. We love shelf life. We love industrialized efficiency. And to me, yeah, all that stuff is super great because it means we get to live these wonderful, prosperous, convenient lives. But I think we lose something really big when we focus on those as the priorities as opposed to quality and community and culture. Last thing I'll say here is that this is slowly changing. You have a movement in the US of people making some of the best bread in the world using the most traditional methods and ingredients. In these big cities, you have
So good,
amazing
bro.
bakeries doing bread that is on par with anything you could get in Europe. And that kind of blows my mind. The problem is, and my critique, is that that is still so rare and specialty and really only available to people who live in big urban areas. And meanwhile, the rest of us, the most accessible bread to us is this industrial, mass-produced garbage.
Belongs in the trash!
And that is enough to make me pretty frustrated.
It is pretty wild how like the bakery comparison was so like sparse. I wouldn't have imagined there was only that many in the US compared to France. France is quite a small country. It's a big European country, but it's quite a small country in general. And even though the UK, it's quite low here. And like I don't really see bakeries that often, but there's one. Is it still open? There was one that was near me that was a really good bakery. But I think it's closed down. And there used to be a bakery. Yeah, I've heard a few, but there's not many actually. There used to be loads around here. There's actually like less than there used to be. Where is the closest bakery that I can think of? Thinking about it, there's not any bakeries near me as well, so it's a problem for me too. But a few years back, there was a bakery literally down the road. One where I used to live. Bro, there used to be loads. What the hell, man? But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that got pissed by this, but you know, it is what it is. I grew up in Switzerland and I call these spongy loaves toast bread. And for me, it's just the kind of thing you put in a toaster, but the term bread refers to actual bread for me, not toast bread. I was so shook figuring out that in the US that it's called bread. I mean, I do use that bread for toast, really. I won't have that bread without toast, to be honest. I don't really have sandwiches with that bread, but I do get it from the shops. So yeah, actually I do have that bread quite a lot. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction, and yeah, until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.